Okay, this is going to be lesson number 6 for 8th grade. Okay, we're going to talk about parallel lines. Okay, this is a completely new topic. It can be found on your books on page 56. Okay, right now we're only going to talk about the definitions that we're going to need to understand this topic. Okay, now when we're talking about parallel lines, we're talking about two lines that, okay, two lines or rays, sorry, that are on the same plane with no points in common. Okay, so when we're talking about these lines, okay, we're talking about a line that has two endpoints. Okay, it can be a ray or it can be a line, and they don't have any points in common. Okay, so that means that they never touch. Okay, parallel lines never touch. Okay, because they go in the same direction and they are on different spaces in the plane, but they will never touch. Okay, so here we have an example of two lines that are parallel. If you notice this figure on this side, okay, the ray AB, okay, remember that we call rays and lines by their endpoints. Okay, this is an endpoint, this is another endpoint. Okay, so we have that ray AB is parallel to which one? C and D. Because if you notice, they have the same inclination, they have the same direction, and if we continue these lines, they will never touch. Okay, so that's why they are called parallel. Now, the line, the ray EF touches AB and touches CD. So that means that this one is not parallel with any line. Okay, so here we have three lines. AB, CD, and EF. Okay, so parallel means that two lines or rays that are on the same plane, okay, they are on the same plane with no points in common. Okay, so this means that this one is not going to have any points in common with this one because they never touch. Okay, remember, to have a point in common, they must touch. Like A and B has a point in common with E and F. And C and D has one point in common, which is this one, with EF. Okay? Now let's talk about the next definition. We have transversal. Okay, transversal is a line that intersects, that means that it touches, it connects two or more coplanar lines, which are these two, in different points, which would be this one and this one. Okay, so that means that line EF is a transversal line because it intersects A and B, and it intersects C and D. Remember, intersect means that they touch. Okay, they cross. Okay, now what do we need to know, okay, about these figures? Okay, because we don't only have endpoints like A and B, C and D, and E and F. Okay, when we cross these lines, we're going to form angles. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8. Okay, so remember that an angle is the measurement of the inclination between two lines. Okay, now supplementary angles. Okay, supplementary angle says their sum, okay, their addition is 180 degrees. Okay, so remember when we have a coordinate plane, okay, this is the measurement 90, this is another 90, but between these two is 180 degrees. Okay, so when we have a line, this angle is 180 degrees. Okay, so if we have an angle, let's say here, and this one is 45 degrees, how much am I missing to get to 180? Okay, I'm missing 135. So this 135 is a supplementary angle to this one, which is 45. Okay, and the reason is because a supplementary angle means that their angles, okay, their addition adds to 180, and is this complete line. Okay. Now, when we're talking about vertical angles, we're talking about opposite angles made by two intersecting lines. Okay, so for example, vertical angles are angle 1 and angle 3. Okay, because they are touching at the vertex. Remember that the vertex is the point where two lines intersect. Okay, so they are touching and they are on opposite sides of this. 2 and 4, vertical angles. 5 and 8, vertical angles. 7 and 6, vertical angles. Okay, so they're opposite angles made by two intersecting lines. Okay, so if I were to ask you the question, name the vertical angles, we would say 1 and 3, and 2 and 4. 7 and 6, 5 and 8. Okay? We also have corresponding angles. Corresponding says, placed on the same side of the transversal, one is interior angle and the other one is an exterior angle. Okay, so when we are talking about corresponding angles, okay, we're talking about the same angle, but one is interior and the other one is exterior. Okay? So for example, okay, if we're still talking about corresponding, okay, one example would be number 1 and number 6. Okay, angle 1 and angle 6 are corresponding. Why? Because this one is exterior and this one is interior, and they are caused by the same transversal, okay, touching the two lines, but this one is here, this one is here. Okay, the same thing would happen with 5 and 2, but this one is interior, the other one is exterior. Okay? Okay. We also have the definition for alternate interior angles. Okay? An alternate interior angle, for example, would be number 3 and number 6. Okay, they are inside, okay, and they are ulterior because they are on opposite sides. The same thing would happen with 5 and 4. The same thing happens with 1 and 7, and the same thing happens with 8 and 2. Okay? And, okay, this would be alternate interiors and alternate exterior angles. Okay? So, these are the definitions that we need, okay, for the exercises that we're going to work on. Okay, we're going to have a figure just like this, and I'm going to ask you questions about these angles. Okay, so make sure to check the link under this video so that you can work on it. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, and this is just the definitions that we're going to need for the exercises on this topic. Okay, so thank you very much.